We are members of the four women curatorial collective Odhaven, for whom VHV from Zagreb, Croatia, working together since 1999. We curated 11th Istanbul Biennial, titled What Keeps Mankind Alive, held from September 12th until November 8th this year. The 11th Istanbul Biennial gathers 70 artists coming from 38 countries, 30 women, 32 men, 3 collaborative projects, 5 collectives. 143 works are exhibited in the 3 venues, amounting to 6,000 square meters. There are 3 works from public collections, 14 works from private collections, 124 works that belong to the artists. The younger artist is 27 years old, and the oldest 76. There are 5 dead artists. The oldest work dates from 1965. There are 35 new productions. The artists come from 40 countries, 39% from Middle East, 26% from Eastern Europe, 14% from Western Europe, 7% from Central Asia, 6% from North America, 4% from Caucasus, 1% from South America, 1% from Far East, and 1% from Australia. 20 artists reside outside of their home countries. 22 are represented by commercial galleries, of which 9 are based outside of the artist's country of residence. The percentage of total budget allocated to the artist's cost is as follows: 8.29% for production costs, 6.09% for travels and accommodation, 8.53% for transport of the works. Artists receive no fee. Curatorial fees amount to 1.21% of the total budget of the biennial. As of August 20th this year, the planned budget of 11th Istanbul Biennial is €2,050,299.
The title of 11th Istanbul Biennial, What Keeps Mankind Alive, is from the three-penny opera written in 1928 by Bertolt Brecht in collaboration with Elisabeth Hauptmann and Kurt Weill. The three-penny opera thematizes the process of the redistribution of ownership within bourgeois society and casts an unforgiving light on a wide range of elements of capitalist ideology. Brecht's assertion in the play that the criminal is a bourgeois and a bourgeois is a criminal remains as resonant and as true as ever, and the parallels between the liberal economy's capacity to erode the existing social consensus in 1929 and the present are striking. The biennial's title, What Keeps Mankind Alive, evokes 2 main subjects, politics and economics, which have grown indistinguishably similar as they have connected and networked all around the globe. What Keeps Mankind Alive seeks to rethink the biennial as a meta-device with the potential to facilitate the renewal of critical thinking by extracting thought from the immediate artistic and political context where it takes place. In other words, What Keeps Mankind Alive does not seek to take local specifics as some sort of prism to read the global, an especially tempting solution in a city such as Istanbul, with its wealth of historical, literary, and pop cultural references. Nor does the exhibition strive to reveal to cultural tourists yet another aspect of this fascinating metaphor city, bridge between Asian Europe, nostalgic symbol of an Ottoman Empire, and of course a trauma spot for a European identity and the multicultural politics of the European Union. Rather, it addresses both local and international audiences head-on with questions about the contemporary world in the throes of the current economic crisis, whose effects are everywhere.
As an exhibition, What Keeps Mankind Alive provides a prism for viewing the works, a context in which they can be read in explicit reference to Brecht's conscious political engagement and methods. The works presented are not necessarily Brechtian per se. Indeed, very few directly refer to Brecht's oeuvre. They subscribe, on the one hand, to Brecht's belief in the political engagement in art and seek to make this political engagement meaningful. On the other hand, they share something of the spirit of the Brecht song. What Keeps Mankind Alive points a way forward, beyond the merely existing, delineating possible directions and new readings. The exhibition, structured in an almost museum-like way, is understood as a public sphere, one of the few remnants of a public space, space for political debate, expression of social antagonisms, and last but not least, valuable keeper of memory, especially memory of possibilities that once existed and are still worth fighting for.
In a diary entry from September 1945, Brecht wrote, quote, "We hear that the Threepenny Opera has been performed to packed houses in Berlin, but then had to be taken off at the instigation of the Russians. The BBC reported that the ballad, Food is the First Thing, Morals Follow On, was the reason for the protest. Personally, I would have not permitted the production. In the absence of any revolutionary movement, the play's message is pure anarchism," unquote. This statement has to be understood in the political context in the immediate wake of World War II. But the fact is that today it is not possible to detect any broad revolutionary movement either. Indeed, reality itself has become Brechtian. One need merely observe the characters ruling European politics to be convinced. In Brecht's day, the conflict was unambiguous. In the face of fascism, there was no third way. Today, the language of politics is effectively depoliticized. Wars have become humanitarian interventions. Mass killings are called ethnic cleansing. All political powers advance beneath the rhetoric of peace, democracy, and human rights, and militants deprived of other means of struggles are labeled as terrorists. The culturization of politics, promoted by neoliberal diversity, which allows for the euphoric celebration of a range of marketable differences, usually touted as pluralism, must be replaced by the politicization of culture. Today, when the dilemma barbarity or socialism is more real than ever, and the future of the world appears divided between pauperized war zones and the stable fascist systems of the rich zones, this is our task.